All right, everybody, how's it going? Can you hear me okay? Last time there was a little microphone problem. How are we doing? Do we got anything in the screen? What is this thing right there? I wonder. Anyways, how's it going, everybody? Thanks for being here. Happy Sunday. All right. How's everybody doing? You'd think I'd get better at this after all these times. Oh, that's this. Okay. Trying to figure out what's on the screen there. Okay. Wondering, how do you do a factory reset? Oh, were you really, Robert? Well, that's perfect timing. Perfect timing. So let me tell you, this was not the topic I had planned for today, but yesterday I had my poor brother-in-law, one of them, was texting me, and he was in a predicament. He was in a pickle because he had somebody come and install Permatrack. It wasn't me, and do a whole setup for him, and he was dinking around with something in the settings and lost everything. That's kind of the gist of it. And what he lost was, I think, like all the settings. So I think what happened was he reverted to a default, like a stock WLED. So I thought, and I'm trying to like walk him through how to fix that. And I thought, this is just going to be an easier way to do it. So rather than try and text this or try and write it down, and I did write some notes down actually, so we'll look at some of my notes. But I think that's what we'll do today. He was working with segments, Robert. How did you know this? How did you know that? Is that what happened to you? What did you do? How did you get in your predicament, in your pickle? Segments are great until they break everything. You're right. You're totally right. So I wonder what happened. Like, is playing with the settings, or sorry, playing with the segments, does that somehow cause a factory reset sometimes? That's news to me. I did not know that. I did not know that. All right. Let us start making some happenings here. Okay, so let's get going. That's what happened. Really? Okay, well, that's what happened to him. He said he was playing with the settings. Or sorry, with segments. He was messing around with segments, and then all of a sudden, he like, it wasn't showing up on the app. He couldn't connect to it, and then like all the lights, he has like, I'm sure it's 30, right? Because that's like the default. But he has like, in several spots on the roof, there's like 30 lights and 30 lights and 30 lights. So I think that's what happened. Did the same thing, but I can no longer get it to connect to my Wi-Fi. I was also trying to work on segments. Oh my gosh, Bo! Well, this is perfect. This is perfect. This is the perfect stream for today then. All right. Fantastic. All right. Well, we're going to get going. So what I'm going to do, this is my thinking here. And I'll show you, let me pull up my notes. And we'll kind of go through it. And I'll try and keep them on the screen too. Try and find a way to get these up on the screen here too. Let's see. Okay, how do I pop this out? I want to pop this into another window here. How do I do that? Copy to Google Docs. Okay. Let's try that. And then we'll open it. Okay, that'll work. Yeah. All right, sweet. Here we go. Okay, so we're going to check that out. So this is my notes. Let's zoom in for you. Oh, yes. Oh, my goodness, this is great. Wow. Wow, it's almost like I know what I'm doing. Am I going to do the 12 streams of Christmas? No, Juan. I just cannot see it happening. I wish. What I've been saying is if there's some way that we can divide up the assignments of the 12 streams among several people and make it happen, and I'll do a few of them and other people can do a few of them, then I think we could make something happen. But I don't want to, I should probably lead that coordination, but I just can't. There's just not enough time. And I don't believe that I'm going to have enough days off to do it myself. I'm sure I'm not going to have enough days off to do it myself. Any combination of segments that generate more than 2,000 characters within the config file causes all kinds of corruption. Wow. Interesting. So any combination of segments that generates more than 2,000 characters within the config file. Wow. Okay, so what's the suggestion then? Just don't do much as far as how about the 4 days of Christmas? Maybe, Robert. That's a good idea. I'll do that. However many streams I can squeeze in, I'll do it, and I'll call it like the 3.5 days of Christmas. All right. So, anyways, what you see here is these are my thoughts on what it would take to kind of go through this process, right? So what I'm going to do, I've got on my desk here, I've got this ESP32 external antenna, which for most of you that are installing a quad or Permatrack, this is what you're going to have. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make this factory reset. Okay. I don't know what it's set to right now. And so, because I've got so many of these laying around and I don't know what any of them are particularly set to do or flashed to become, or if I've already played with it, I don't even know. So I'm just going to reset it. Okay. So I'm going to pretend that this is kind of what happens to somebody. Oh, the other thing to tell you is, oops, let's go here. And the other thing to tell you is that a thing that happens. So what I put here, excuse me, if you do it via USB, ESP draws too much juice and outside power source. So that's true too, Clown Hammer. Oh man, we got so many things going on. We're already squirreling around. We're even talking about WLED and we're still already squirreling around. So let's start with my the first two things on this list up here. Okay. So these are the things I think cause people to run into troubles. And I guess when I said it dies, needs to be replaced, accidentally hit the reset button. Let's also add here, or too many segments or too much. All right, is that accurate as well? So these are the things I think that happen. So one thing that happens that I've noticed a lot of people do is in the app, which is a great app, by the way, the WLED Native app. If you're not using the WLED Native app, it's the better one of the options for WLED these days. We'll see if we can, oops, that's me. Don't want to make myself disappear. There we go. So if you're looking at the WLED apps, this is WLED Native. And you see this little arrow right here? Right there? That little guy right there? That says do an update. You can look down mine. I don't do the updates here, right? I just don't do it. I think what happens, we could test it here by doing an update and see if it totally screws it up. But I think what happens is when people see that and then they do the update, it changes the settings. Like I think it loads in it doesn't load in the QuinLED version. I think it loads in a regular WLED version and it wipes out a lot of the settings, mostly like the GPIO outputs. I'm not 100% sure that that's what happens, but that's my guess based on, a lot of people coming to me and asking for help. So maybe what we'll do before we get done here is I can take one of these that, I don't, if it gets screwed up, it's not a big deal. And we'll see if doing the update here screws it up or not. Okay. But we're not gonna do that just yet. So to start with, okay, let's see. It was no limitation last year, which made my initial Permatrack effect setup a challenge. Yes, I'm sorry, Robert. I'm so sorry about that. I did not know that. Home Assistant does the same thing, correct. Home Assistant, oh yes, Home Assistant will also prompt you to update. Yeah, bit you in the butt too. Oh, I'm so sorry. Haven't seen the goat in a while. Hey, bro, Grammar, how's it going? Who's the goat? Quindor. Oh yeah, Quindor's the goat. What was I watching? I was watching some sports thing, and they gifted somebody an actual goat who was like really good. I don't know if it was, I think it was like a college basketball coach maybe or something. I'm not 100%. Anyways, doesn't matter. Okay, so here we go. We're going to do so these are the things, sorry, backing up a second. These are the things that commonly happen that cause people to need to recover from a factory reset. Okay, so these are the things usually happen that cause people to need to recover from a factory reset. All right. So what I'm going to do is go through the initial flash process, just because it's good to remind folks, if you haven't had to do it before, this is how you do it. So most of you are going to have a quad. This is where you want to go to get your version of WLED. Now, I'm not saying like my brother-in-law, Ron, you don't need to do this. Okay, you shouldn't need to do this because yours is working. But some people, if they have like a whole new problem and they want to do a whole reflash, this is how you do it. So you go to this website, you hook up your ESP32, just this part of it, to USB-C and then to your computer that you're working on. And that's where you go to this website. And then you're going to go over here to quad, because that's what I assume we all have. We're going to go down here to external antenna. Most of these have a temperature sensor. It doesn't really matter. Most of us aren't using the temperature sensor, but it has it, so you might as well click that. And then you hit install. And this will get you the correct version. Now, there's going to be a couple things, depending on your computer, a couple things will show up in here. I know this is the one. If you're not sure which one it is, I've done this 100 times, but if you're not sure which one this is, you unplug it and it goes away, plug it back in, and it's the one that reappears. That's the correct one. Okay, so then connect and then install, and it's going to say, are you sure you want to erase everything? And you're going to say yes. Now, that's not the latest and greatest version of WLED. Quindor's usually pretty up to speed, but I think there's a 14.4 and I know there's a beta 15 and all that, but this is the stable version. This is what I think most people should be using. So just use this. You're not really missing much when it comes to what came out new in 0.4, 14.4 or 15. So don't worry about it, especially for general users. If you're not a power user, don't worry about it. You're just going to need this. Okay, install. Now we wait. And now we read comments. Oh, that's in Russian, I think. Cannot read it. Cannot read it, but that looks cool. So how's everybody doing? Hey, Johnny, how's it going? All right, here it's installing. It will take 2 minutes. Does it really take 2 minutes? Somebody time it. It's 2:49 p.m., so we'll time it. I usually don't go off of this page. I think it might be okay if you go off of this page. But I don't go off, actually, because there's a warning there that says, keep this page visible to prevent slowdown. Hey, there you go. Quindor, yes, you do. Let's show everybody here in a second. I'll show everybody where to get the other potential versions that are set up for the QuinLED controllers. And by the way, I think I mentioned to Quindor today, but I certainly posted it in the Discord, my Discord, that I got the DHL notice yesterday. That said pay the customs. So I did. And that usually means it's only a couple of days before they arrive at my house. And I believe it said they're supposed to arrive tomorrow. So that would be fantastic. Oh, it says your theater set building for who or whom. So we used to do, thanks, Scott. We used to do, my kids have always done a lot of theater when they were younger. Now they're like high school and college and stuff. So the set building, I haven't done much in a while. But we did it for Alpine Community Theater mostly, and one or two other littler things. But Alpine Community Theater did a lot of set building back in the day. When I first started doing all this YouTube stuff, that's what I was doing. All right, installation complete. So now that's done. So now this thing is factory reset, ready to go. The man with the plan is back again. Okay, now what are we gonna do? So this is what happened like to my brother-in-law. So his thing went to a factory reset, and most of the time when somebody can't find their controls, right? They go to their app, right? And most people don't have like 6 of these and 10 of these like I do. Usually you have one, and it will show up like this, like device offline. Okay. It'll say device offline. That usually means that it's been reset, and either with WLED Native app, it will find it even if it's changed the IP address on your router, which is one of the great things about this app. But often what happens, like in this case, and in the case of my brother-in-law, it lost the Wi-Fi settings. So it no longer knew the Wi-Fi name and password to connect to the home router. So, and that's the state that this one's in right now. So the first thing, like if you can't find your WLED device in the app, then the first thing to do is to go to your phone, go to your Wi-Fi stuff here. Come on. Wi-Fi, oops. This isn't supposed to be the hard part. I don't want updates. Oh, here it is. This is what I was looking for. Duh. All right, so you go here to the Wi-Fi, trying to keep the glare off, and see if there is a WLED access point broadcasting. If there is, then that means that this is not connected to your network, and you'll need to put in the Wi-Fi settings. If you do not see a WLED access point, that means that it's probably connected to your router, and the app should find it. The WLED Native app should find it. If not, you might go in your router and look for it. But normally in these cases, these days, the WLED Native app will find it. But in this case, we're going to go to WLED access point. And just to make it easy on ourselves, we're going to go to, so it already puts the password in for mine, but it's, what is it, 1234 WLED or WLED 1234, something like that. You can Google it. All right, we're going to go to the Wi-Fi settings. You can scan and see what Wi-Fi networks are available. Okay, so there's mine. And then I'll put in the password, not that y'all don't know it already. Okay, and then I'm just going to save and connect. That's it. Save and connect. So I put in my Wi-Fi password, and now I'm going to save and connect. Okay, done. It's going to take a minute, but then the WLED access point will disappear, and your phone or whatever will connect back to your regular network. And then as long as your phone is connected to the same network as you put in for this, then when you go to the WLED Native app, it should find a new device, and it should just already be there. That's been the way it's been lately. And I'm almost positive it's this one right here. It's this DigQuad V3 right there. I'm almost positive that's what it is. So we're gonna take that IP address, which it gives right there, which is for me 192.168.1.155, and we're gonna put that into the browser of any computer on the network. All right, and now we're gonna go to this, and okay, good. It looks like it doesn't have any presets or anything, which is great. That means this is most likely the right device. I don't have any lights hooked up to this, so I can't really I can't know for sure. The way to know for sure would be just to unplug it and plug it back in. Oh, you did set building professionally for 20 years? I did not do set building professionally. Mine was all rookiness. Good, big shipment. Yes, and we'll try and work out one more shipment before Christmas. I think we can get one more shipment in before Christmas. So as soon as I get these ones in that are coming in, I'll count everything up, get it all put in stock. There's going to be, I'm sure, a ton of orders. We're probably going to be getting like 100 a day. So my poor helper is going to be overworked, but we'll get it all in, and then we'll see what we need, what we should get next, and we'll get that on the way. Sorry, excuse me, burping here. All right. So now what do we do? Let's go back to my list. So the first thing that my brother-in-law had to do was to find the WLED access point, and it was broadcasting a WLED access point. So then put in your Wi-Fi info, and that will connect the WLED device to your network. Then you go to the WLED Native app. Actually, the quotes should not be around the part that says app. And WLED Native is not the standard WLED app that we used for years. It's a new one that somebody put together a year or so ago, and it does a really good job of finding them and just automatically putting the devices on your list. So that's really nice. Okay, now, once we've got it connected to the network, the next thing we got to do is check the hardware output settings. I know that these are going to be correct, but if what happened to your device was that it got the default WLED version instead of the QuinLED WLED version, then a lot of your pins, your hardware output pins, will not be correct. So we're going to go and look at that on this device right now. So we're going to go to the configuration. We're going to go, so let me back up again before I go. I don't want to go too fast. Let's go back. If you're looking at this on a computer, then it's really good to have PC mode selected, because that gives you all your colors, all your effects, your segments, which are wonderful when they work, but horrible when they screw everything up, right? Like everybody said. And then your presets, and then it gives you all your menus up here at the top. So we're going to hit this config menu. We're going to spend most of our time in this configuration menu for now. So config menu, most of the stuff you want is going to be in LED preferences for right now. So we're going to go to the LED preferences. Now, we're going to skip down. We're going to skip down to this hardware setup area. Okay. Because I flashed it with a version of WLED that is meant for a quad, there will be 4 of these WLED outputs. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Each of them will be set by default to 30. This is because I'm using the QuinLED version. If you're using the regular WLED version, this probably won't be the case. All right. So if you got the regular WLED version, this is what you want your LED outputs to look like. Okay. So if you go to this page, you're trying to recover from a reset, you go to this page and your hardware LED outputs don't look like this, make them look like this. Okay. Match this. Most importantly is going to be this right here, this GPIO. That's which pin on this little device is outputting the information to the LEDs. That is a difference between the regular WLED and the QuinLED version of WLED. So you want to set the first one, hardware LED outputs, number 1 gets GPIO 16. Number 2 gets GPIO 3. Number 3 is GPIO 1, and number 4 is GPIO 4. Now, if you don't have all of these, like if they just aren't showing up, then I'm going to show you what you do. So I just deleted number 4, but I'm going to just add it again. So if maybe you only have 1, or maybe you only have 1 or 2, depending on which version you got reset to or whatever, and you need to add a new hardware output, you just hit this plus, and then you pick your GPIO pin. Because this one is number 4, we want it to be number 4. But if it was like, if you only had 1 and you were adding number 2, you would add number 2, but then you use GPIO number 3, and for number 3, use GPIO number 1. Don't ask. It's not, matching numbers. This is just because of the way the hardware is arranged. You need to have the right pins selected here. Okay. So just make it look like this. All right. Another thing. Okay. So that's that part, I think. So we're going to save that, and it's probably going to reboot, or at least get us back to the settings here. So that's the next steps. Check your hardware output settings and make sure the pins are correct. Okay. And then, my next thing I put on the list here is if you have an Ethernet version of the ESP32, then make this next change. Now, not everybody has this, but some people do. And when they get a reflash or they do an update, and then it's like, there's no lights blinking on my Ethernet connector. This is why, generally. Okay. In this Wi-Fi settings down here, this is because it doesn't have the ESP32, the version that has Ethernet on it. Okay. Well, if you have the Ethernet version, you have to have flashed it with the Ethernet version. Remember when we were looking at this? So down here, there's an Ethernet version. If you flash it with the Ethernet version, then on this Wi-Fi settings page down here at the bottom, you'll have a drop-down menu that will give you several different options for which kind of Ethernet connector or Ethernet device you're using. You're using the QuinLED version. So select that from the drop-down. All right. That's not exactly what my brother-in-law needs, so I'm not going to go through and flash one of those and all that stuff right now. But just if you're using Ethernet, go to that page, make sure that you select QuinLED from the drop-down. And if you don't have that, if you're looking at this page, if you have an Ethernet version and you're looking at this page and you go down here in Wi-Fi settings and there is no drop-down like this one, then that means you don't have the correct version flashed for your Ethernet, and you need to take it off, take the whole device off, and connect it to your computer with USB and flash it that way. That's the easy way to do it. You can do it over the air, but let's not get into that. Let's stick with what's easy. This is easy. Do this. Okay. So in this case, we don't have that drop down because this is not the Ethernet version, and we don't need the Ethernet version. And my brother-in-law doesn't have the Ethernet version, so that's not what we're going to do today. All right. Now, this is where I think he needs to do some things. Or Ron, this one you need to do some things. So, looking at the house outside, what we need to do is set up the correct number of LEDs that are on each output. So this is going to be a little tricky, but the way to do this is going to be to go out and look at the house, and you're going to have several segments, or several, I shouldn't call them segments. You're going to have, like, I think Ron said he has three sections of lights where there's like 30 lit up. Okay. So what he needs to do is that means he's probably using 3 outputs off the controller. Now you can go look at the controller and see how many wires are coming off the outputs, but we're just going to guess. We're going to guess that if you've got 3 sections of the roof that have 30 lights on each one, that each of those sections is coming off of a different output from the controller. Now what we need to do is figure out which outputs are which in the software and how many LEDs are on each output. Okay. Best way to do this. If we go in here, if we say, let's back to the settings, and we're going to go to LED preferences. There is a button. Where's the button that says here? I like this. Make a segment for each output. We're going to click this. It's going to make a segment for each output. So right now, let's just go back for a second. In this controller that I just reflashed, it has 0 segments. Possibly you don't need segments. Okay, you don't necessarily need segments, but for the sake of trying to sort out for Ron which of his sections of lights are associated with which hardware outputs, I think we need to do it this way, and I think this is going to be the easiest way to do it, the software way, anyways, without getting up and looking at the controller and stuff. So we're going to click that button under LED preferences that says make a segment for each output. All right, and then we're going to save. And then when it takes us back to the main page, there should be multiple segments now. Okay, so this is probably what you're looking at. Well, maybe, Ron, you're not looking at this, but once you do this, then you should have a segment for each of your outputs. You'll probably have 4 segments, and you may only have 3 sections of lights, which means number 4 you're probably not going to use. And in this case, it's not 1 through 4, it's 0 through 3. When you open up one of these segments, it's going to say that there are some number, probably 30 in this one, and it starts at 0 and ends at 30. And then the next one is going to start at 30 and end at 60. And then the next one is going to start at 60 and end at 90. This is the default, right? Start at 90. Oh, this one starts at 90 and ends at 91. That's weird. Anyways, it doesn't matter. So what we're going to do now, if you're looking at your lights, let's do, for the sake of just, for the sake of the example, we're going to hit peak here, and peak is going to show us what these lights would be doing if they were actually on. Okay, so I'm going to change the colors, and we're going to see, okay, there's colors changing. All right, if I hit an effect, it's going to show me the effect. Okay, now this is playing on all of the segments out of all of the outputs. All right, we're going back to solid here. We're just going to do solid red for now. That's fine. What we're going to do to see which of those sections of lights that Ron's looking at on his house, we're going to see which one is attached to which output by turning off some segment. So if we go to this first one and we turn it off, see that? Part of the house then is going to turn off. So I hit this little power button here on segment 0, and part of the house turned off. So for Ron, if he goes into his controls, and he can do this out on the phone or whatever, or just do it in the house, turn it off, and then go outside and look at which section is now off. Okay, because if he's got 3 sections that each have 30 lights, and we turn off one segment, one of them is now going to be off. So now, Ron, count how many LEDs are in that whole section. Okay, that's connected to what turned off. All right. Whatever that number is, come back and put that number in where it says stop LED. So say there's, I don't know how many there's going to be, but let's say there's going to be, 75. I don't know. And then you're going to hit the check mark. All right. Now that should change the number of LEDs on that output. Let's go see. If it doesn't change it on the output, we're going to also have to change it in the output. So let's see. We're going to go back to config. We're going to go to LED preferences. And we're going to go down here. Oh, no, it didn't work here. So this is where we want to change it. Back up. It doesn't matter if you change it in the segments. It probably does eventually, but we're going to change it here. So this is where you really need to know how many LEDs were in that section. All right, so that 75, we would put it in here. You can see I don't have to do this very often, so that's why I don't know what I'm doing. Let's see, and then this is probably going to be, this may be here because this may be in the segment because I changed it, or it may be there because I changed it here. Either way, we're going to just change it here for the next one. All right. So go back to the controls again. So hopefully now, if you do that, once you go into this config, this LED preferences, and you put the correct number in here, it should now light up that whole string. And one way to figure it out, like if it's too hard to count, one way to figure it out is to guess right here. So go right here and put in, if you're not quite sure, but you think it's about 75, put in some number, and then you can see if there's still a few that are not lit, then go in here and add the ones that aren't lit to this. So maybe it's not 75, maybe it's 78 or whatever, right? Or maybe it's 102 or whatever. So you put that number in here. All right, so now let's go back to this, and we're gonna do the same thing, but now we're gonna do, that was segment 0, right? Oops, let's make sure these are all checked. We're gonna do peak again, because that's gonna give us this. This part's, why is this part not turned on? Oh, because segment 4 is, because there's only so many in the total. Okay. So I guess, it's still just doing 30, 30, and 1. I'm going to just put 30 in here and then save. And then let's go back here. Those should all be on. Okay, so now it's got the whole bar. All right. So now we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to do segment number 1. All right. Now you can, Ron and everybody else, you can go in here. Oops, I'm going to turn these back on. You can edit this and give it a name that corresponds to that part of the house. So say that was like the garage. Okay, so those are the lights that are above the garage. Anytime you make a change to a segment, click the checkbox. So it'll save it. Okay. All right. And then you can click this little arrow to collapse it. So now we're going to go down here to this segment number 1, and we're going to turn it off. Okay, so now some section of the lights again has gone off. So go back outside, go look at which section turned off, count how many LEDs are in that total section, then come back, go to LED preferences, go to number 2 down here, and it says start at whatever, and then the length, you're going to put in how many total are in that one. So let's say that there are, I don't know how many there are, but let's say there's 145. Okay, 145, and then hit save. Now, when I do that, let's go back here. Let's look at peak again. Now when I turn this one off, it's probably a bigger chunk. Yeah, see? So now it's a much bigger chunk. But with this on, now that second section should go all the way to the end, and you should have all the lights turn on. Okay. So we're going to do the same thing with the third section. By turning it off, it's going to identify which one on the roof it actually is. You're going to go out and count how many are on that section, and then go into LED preferences under the third output, and you're going to put whatever it is in that section. So let's say it's 263. Okay, that's how many it is. Save. And maybe in your case, you only have those 3 sections, and that's fine. That's great. No problem. We're going to go here. We're going to go peak. And then if we turn, you should now see all of them on. If you turn off one section, now you can see that's a big section. And what you can do is like you can, if you check just a single box, so let's check just segment 0, you could change the color of segment 0. Now it's blue. See it over there? Let's make it maybe stand out a little more. Now it's green, okay? And then you uncheck that box, check a different box. Now we're doing segment 1. Oh, it didn't save the name here. That's why segments is tricky. Anyways, so section, the second section there, which is going to be segment number 1, we're going to change to like yellow, something like that. Okay. Or let's make it blue. Stand out better next to the green and the red. All right. And then the next section, we can actually do an effect on that section. So let's do like something silly, like colorful. Okay, so we'll make that section all colored. All right, and then the last section, well, the last section we'll leave red, and you shouldn't probably have any that are on the last section if you only had 3 on the roof. Okay. So if you think, and if you want to make changes to all the segments, then you select all the segments, and whatever change you make will then affect all of them. They're like slowly fading off. Oh, they're doing it by each color now because I set each color. And they're functioning separately instead of functioning all together. Okay, now they're all green. Yeah, things are kind of screwy, but whatever. Okay. These are the base colors. So I had to go in and change the default colors on each section, but it should yeah, I would think it would do all that. Okay. Anyways, I think though, for now, for Ron, you should, if you've gone into your LED preferences and for each of these hardware LED outputs, you have put in the correct number of LEDs that are on that string to that section of the house, you should now hopefully have all of the stuff back on the house. All of the lights should be on. Okay, great. Let's assume you did that. Let's take a Dr. Pepper break. All right. I know if 3Ative comes on, he's going to say, look, 3Ative's right there, and I still didn't update the Dr. Pepper one. Sorry, friend. I do appreciate what you've done for me. I just, too many things going on, and I have not been able to do that. Isn't that funny? Right when you popped up, I'm like, I'm going to push this Dr. Pepper one, and I haven't updated it yet. And if 3Ative comes on, he's gonna call me out on it. Oh, man. Okay. All right. So you've got all the lights turned on in the house. Hallelujah. Good job. Yay. But now you need some presets, right? Because I think Ron's had his lights up for a couple years, right? So you probably had lots of presets. As punishment, you have to hit the like button. So Ron probably had a lot of presets set up. And anybody who does a bunch of this kind of setup stuff is going to want to restore those presets, okay? Let's start with saving the configuration that we have. So once you've got the configuration set up and you have the correct GPIO outputs and you have the correct number of pixels in each string and some basic stuff set up, you should save it. So you can save your configuration to a computer that then if you ever had to do a reset or anything, or if you changed controllers, you got a whole new ESP32 or anything, you could restore the settings onto the new one. All right, so let's see how to do that, if I can remember where it is. I believe it's under security and updates. Yes, it is right here. Okay, under security and updates, right here, backup configuration. Okay, backup configuration. Find a place to save this where you know that you can find it later and save it. So it's going to make a file called WLED config dig quad v3. That just happens to be what this one's called. If you change the name of yours, it'll be a different name. Doesn't matter. It's a .json file. Just save it somewhere where you know you can find it later. All right. So now if we were to do a, let's say we did a factory reset, and actually let's do a factory reset. Let's just do it. We're going to do this factory reset right here. All settings and presets will be erased. Oh no. Oh no. I don't have any presets yet, but we will back up presets after I do the presets creative. You could, the same process applies for backing up presets. But for now, we're going to do a factory reset, and then we're going to restore that file. Okay, so factory reset. Poof. Now, I wonder if it's going to reconnect to my Wi-Fi or not. I guess, oops, look at that. Connect to WLED-AP to set up again. So it isn't, it doesn't save the Wi-Fi settings. So now we're gonna have to go in and go back and do the Wi-Fi setup again. So Grammy's asking what happened. I'm helping my brother-in-law who he was tinkering around with segments and got his controller to do a reset on him. Kind of got a little, I guess when you get into segments, sometimes if your config file gets too big, Robert was saying, then it will totally jack up your config file and you'll have to restart. So now we're going to go back in here and there's WLED-AP again. This will be good because my guess is factory reset is not going to save all of the QuinLED stuff. So this is going to set us all the way back. Okay, so we can go to Wi-Fi settings and we're going to put in my Wi-Fi name and password. Do you guys know, are people still getting into trouble if their passwords have certain characters? That used to be a thing. I don't know if it's still a thing or not. Let's see. I think is it WLED1234? Oh, sorry. That's I need my password, yes. All right, save and connect. And then once you've done that, then you go to the WLED Native app and it should just find it again. And in most cases, this hardware is going to have its own like MAC address, like hardwired in there. And so your router, when it sees that MAC address again, it should give it the same IP address. Not always. Depends on your routers and such. And if your router resets, it may give it a different IP address next time. But it should be the same one. So we're going to go right back to that same IP address, which was 155. And there we go. And now you will notice all my segments are gone. And this is basically defaulting to 120. If we go to the config, this is where, oops, sorry, you can't see that. All right, so we go here, all my segments are gone, okay? And then if you go to the config and LED preferences, oh good, it did keep them. It did keep them. Okay, well not every one of them is gonna keep these, I don't think. So this factory reset did delete a bunch of settings, but this is not a WLED update. Ooh, but we should do that. Let's do that instead. Let's do that instead. Okay, because it didn't change all the settings, like it did leave the GPIO pins. It did change the number of LEDs in each one, right? But it didn't change the output pins. Let's, for the sake of experimentation, let's do an update through this app and see what happens, okay? So I'm going to go to the Quad V3 that we're working on. I'm going to hit that update button. Oh, wait, come on. Hit the update button. Okay, there we go. This says there's an update, right? So we're going to see that. We're going to go see update. If I read this, it might tell me what to do, but I'm not going to read it, which probably most of you wouldn't have anyways, so why bother? And then I'm just going to hit install. Now it's going to install that updated version of WLED. And this is where a lot of people get mixed up. See right there? See how it says WLED 0144 ESP32? That is not the QuinLED version. So that means that's absolutely going to mess up our pin settings. But that's okay, because we just saved our config file. Now we can put our config file back on the controller very easily. Okay, oh, hey, it did it. Great, I got an update. Isn't that great? I'm so up to date. Isn't that wonderful? And then we go in here. Let's go back to this. There it is. So now we're back in here again and go to LED preferences. And why is it still the same? It shouldn't be. That's funny. I would have thought that it will OTA okay if it keeps the settings. Huh, that's funny, because maybe what people... so that's good. That's good. I thought that it was resetting that, but maybe it's not. Now if you reset to default, then it will be gone. Oh, okay. So now if you go back here and go into security and updates, not security, no, yes, and do factory reset, now it'll be gone, huh? Thank you, Quindor. I hope this is helpful. I think it should be very helpful to people. We'll see. We'll see. Oh, so now I got to do it again. So connect to the WLED-AP again. Face ID. My phone wants me to update something. No, sir. All right, we're going to go here. It's going to say, oh, there's WLED again, WLED-AP. If you ever get a new router, like I had a friend who got a new router, and he was like, what do? I got a new router. Same thing. WLED access point, go in, put in your new Wi-Fi settings. In that case, it really, really, really should not change any of your settings. But it doesn't matter, because after this, everybody's going to have a backup of their settings, and everybody's going to be able to restore their settings, right? Because that's what we want. We don't want anybody to get screwed up. We want you to have a backup of your settings so that everything that you do, you can restore at any point. Okay. Okay, WLED access point is gone. That means this controller is now reconnected to my native WLED app. Now, when we go in here and we find that one again, haha, you see the difference? This WLED, it doesn't have, first of all, it doesn't say Quad V3 anymore because it changed the name, because that Quad V3 was part of Quindor's version of WLED that we put on. And it also doesn't show the update button. Like these other ones show the update button. This one doesn't show the update button anymore. Okay. But it's still the same IP address. So we can still go to the same IP address on the computer here, and we go back to this. Now when we go to the config and LED preferences, it will be wrong, right? They'll all be gone. You won't have a backup of your segments. Oh, that's okay. But messing everything up and trying to fix it the hard way is all the fun. How's it going, Marsh? Which, by the way, I need to apologize to Marsh and everybody else who won something on the giveaways last week, because I didn't send them out yet. Sorry. I got them all packed up like right away, like right after the stream. I packed it all up, and then it all just sat here for a week. So I apologize. I'll get it out, I promise. Okay, so anyways, now let's assume that worst case, this is what happened to you. And you're in this situation now where your lights aren't coming on, and you're like, what the bleep? And how am I going to fix this? Well, fortunately, prior to that catastrophe, you saved a settings, a configuration backup. So now we can just reload that configuration backup. So we're going to choose a file. And the one that we had was in the Dr. Z's, and it was this one right here. And if you look down here, you'll see what I have. I have configurations for my house. All right, so mine for my house, I have them saved from actually almost 1 year ago today. Maybe I was doing the same thing a year ago today. Actually, I think last year was I put in an Octa in my front yard. That was why. All right, so this is the one we had. WLED config dig quad v3 JSON. That's the one we want. Open. Schwing. Okay, there we go. So now it shows the file name here. We're going to hit upload. Configuration restored successfully. Rebooting. Okay. I assume it rebooted. That was pretty fast, but maybe it did. It didn't say anything about losing connection, so we're going to go back. It won't. Oh, it does have the settings. Look at that. Who was it that said? Robert said there wouldn't be settings, but the segments are there. All right. Okay. I want you to have your hat though, Marsh. I think that was the most important thing for me. Let's go back into the configuration, into LED preferences, and let's check. And sure enough, hallelujah, now we have our LED outputs correct again, right? They got restored and they got correct. So Ron and everybody else, once you get it set up the right this time, save a config. Go into that, and that was again in, we're going to repeat this 50 times, but go in configuration, security and updates, scroll down and hit backup configuration, and that will save a file somewhere on the computer that you're working on here. So that's why it's tricky to do it on your phone. I think iPhone's gotten much better, and you can like save your files and then upload them. But I'm comfortable on a computer. You might be able to do this on your phone. You could probably do it on an Android phone, but whether or not you can do it on an iPhone, I don't know. Okay. Always hit my head against the wall each year with Flash installs. Oh, good, Tanner. Well, I hope that this will help you. This right here should save you a lot of headache. Once you get it right, again, this next time, do this backup configuration, and then hopefully you never have to do it again. You can always just back it up or restore it from the backup. Okay, so now back to Ron. We've got, hopefully Ron has all his lights on. Hopefully all of his hardware outputs are set up now, but he still doesn't have any presets. And so that means his wife, my sister-in-law, is going to be chirping at him. Actually, Claudia's never, I'm sure, chirping at Ron. She's too sweet. But there's some wives and some spouses, some significant others, kids, etc., might be like, "Where's all the fancy colors, Dad?" And you're like, "I don't know. They went away. I don't got them. I got to figure it out." We will help you. All right, we will help you. Oh, good. So Enlights says he's always been able to download on his Android phone and been able to upload later. I should try to get on iPhone. Years ago you couldn't. There wasn't really like a place that saved regular files that you could access later, but iPhone now seems to be doing that. Okay, so now we're going to do some presets. So there's a few things that have been established to help with getting new presets. Let's do those things. First of all, I have a few years ago set up a GitHub that had some presets in it. You guys remember this? We're going to sign in. Hopefully this will give... Nope, I don't want to do that. Remind me tomorrow. All right. Discover gifts. I want to go to my gists. These are not my gists. Where are my gists? Your gists. Didn't I save it as a gist? Spinning no dread. Maybe I saved it. Maybe I made it a whole repository. Huh? That would have been weird. Where did I save it, guys? Do you remember? Oh, here it is. WLED presets. Okay. All right. So I will drop this into the chat so everybody can have it. And I will put it in the video description as well. But anyways, that's where it is. GitHub, Sniper Cane, WLED presets. Okay. And so there's a bunch of presets here. Favorite presets.json. So here's a whole bunch of presets. And what you can do is you can grab this line of text right here. Just the one below, that color winkle part you don't need. You copy that, go to your controller, and then in this box right here, you paste that in. All right. And then, oh wait. However, there is a backup preset of data. Oh, sorry. Never mind. That was wrong. We're going to plus preset. plus preset. We're going to take off this use current state, and then we're going to paste it in. Sorry, I don't know what this was about here. I didn't read this. There's a backup preset data of previous installations available. Saving presets will hide this and overwrite the backup. Oh, okay. Well, that's what we're going to do anyways. You probably have a pull request. It's because I don't know how to use it. I need to have somebody. I need to have my son update it for me. Anyways, so what we can do here is we'll give this a name. We'll just name it the same thing. Color Twinkle. Color Winkles. Color Winkles. Save that. And now we have a Color Winkles preset. So if we go to peak and Color Winkles, it looks like it's doing it. Up there, you can see the lights just barely. They're not very bright, so we'll turn up the brightness. There you go. Okay, so now you have a Color Winkles preset. And it does, and your segments will still work. So like if you wanted to turn off just one segment, you could just turn off one segment. Okay, but this preset doesn't override your segments with other people's segments. So that's important. That's nice. So you can do that with all of these. You like the one that says fall colors? Go in here, copy. Go back to your WLED controller, hit plus preset, uncheck use current state. I'll show you how to do the use current state thing here in a second as well. Paste that in, give it a name that's not Color Winkles, and this one was Fall Colors, I think I called it. And then save. All right. So now we can hit this Fall Colors preset, and it does different things. See? It's just different colors. It's very pretty. It's kind of browns and greens and reds. Very pretty, very pretty. Or we can go back to Color Winkles. There it goes, Color Winkles. Very nice, right? Okay. Now, let's do one. Let's say you have something that you want to set up that you like. So let's show you what happens when you make a preset, normally, right? If you're not copying it from somebody else. Let's just find one like, I don't know what's good. Juggles. Juggle's good. And maybe pick a palette, random cycle palette. Brightness isn't very good on this. Now, I don't think anybody would like that. So let's pick a different one. Let's pick Pacifica. Oh, yes, that's beautiful. Okay, we're going to pick that one. Let's just say you like that one for some other holiday, whatever. Okay, now if you hit plus presets, when it says use current state, it's going to save all of this information here. It's going to save all of this to the preset, including your segments. It's going to save all this to the preset, okay? So it's got a name, which it named after the effect that you selected, and you hit save, and now you've got that preset. Piece of cake. But when you're copying somebody else's preset, you want to uncheck that box so that it gives you the text box you can paste something in. Now, I don't know how to do the poll thing. Steven, if you want to show me how to do the poll thing, we can do that. I don't know how to do it, but I'd be glad to add. However, we are going to add some things because somebody else, was it Crispin? I think it was Crispin, gave me some information to use for adding new presets. So I'm going to find that here. It was a new place. Let's see, pixel heads. Here it is. We're going to go here and here. Here is a bunch of other presets that somebody else did. I think what I should do is just copy these right into mine. Don't you think? These are, looks like somebody did some of these, like they took some of mine and they added more stuff to it. So let's do that. Let's add these to mine. And maybe this was what you, maybe Steven, maybe this is what you did, huh? All right, so we're gonna go to mine. We're gonna edit this file. All right. Now, in no particular order, we're gonna just, well, we should probably put them, let's put them in an order. Do we have one that's Christmas? Here, we have one that's Christmas. Okay, so you don't have to do this. I'm doing this for myself, but you can add these after. So we're gonna call this one Christmas 0. Ooh, call it Christmas 0. Okay, hopefully that'll be all right. I don't know why it's not white. There, Christmases. All right, now I can copy these here. So I'm going to copy their Christmas, 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm going to copy all these. This was on my to-do list ever since Crispin posted this, was to go back in here and add these to my list and paste. Okay, so now we've got more Christmases that we can use, right? Just fixed. Oh, you fixed some of my formatting? Oh, well, thank you. I'm sorry. Again, I wish I knew how to incorporate your poll or whatever that means. I've never taken a programming class in my life. Actually, that's not true. I did when it was Commodore 64s. Seems to no longer be applicable. Huh, who knew? Okay. So now he's got 2 in here that are Patriot. So I'm going to go under my red, white, and blue, and I'm going to add these ones that are Patriot. And this, I think what Crispin said was these came from somebody who was doing installs. So it's possible, Ron, that these are actually the ones that you had. I don't know who made these, or what the guy did that was doing your installs, but maybe these are the ones that he had. All right, so then I've got, I think I already have a Halloween. So we'll have to have another Halloween here. Do I not have a Halloween? Inconceivable.
Say what?
You like that, don't you? You like that. I know you do. All right, we're going to do Halloween and lightning. Actually, I think I can do, except fall colors, I will put all these in the same spot. So I'm going to put Halloween, lightning. Oh, you guys can't see that. Sorry, I'm copying it and you can't see it. Halloween, lightning, blah, 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 blah. All these are going to go in here. All right, so we're going to put those all here at the end under Valentine's Day. Paste. Okay. And then we're going to go back over here. Which other ones don't I have? So his fall colors is going to be, going to be different. So let's take all of this, and then I'll just change the name of the fall colors. You do have to put in your own name anyways. You can't, it won't copy in the name, so you got to name them whatever you like. Okay, paste that in. And then his fall colors was right here. Fall colors 2, we're going to call it. All right, so that should be it. I think that's all the ones that were on this extra list right here. And then I think actually he referenced a stream here where I did this probably last year. Who knows when it was, but it might have been last year, might have been 2 years ago. Anyways, all right, so now we're going to commit the changes. So now all those are there. I'm not going to, because it's not real programming, so it doesn't really matter. Now we've got all these presets to copy. Yay! With the changes you're about to make, I can just redo my changes and save making things complicated for you. Thank you for not making it complicated for me. Sorry, Steven, for not incorporating your stuff. I should probably give somebody else access to this. How do I do that? How do I give somebody else access to this to be able to update it? Because that would probably be helpful for some. Okay, so let's take some of these. So let's say you want to just test it. You want to just see what it looks like. Can you do that? Let's find. I'm interested in their accent lighting. This is an interesting one. Accent lighting. What is that? So we're gonna go in here. We're gonna copy this. We're gonna go here. We're gonna make a new preset. Uncheck use current state. Paste in this accent lighting one, change the name. Oops. This keyboard is accent. We're just going to call that. We're going to save it. And then we're going, okay, and that's what they did. So what they did looks like what they did was just skip so many lights. So they skipped several lights and they put it on kind of a warm color. That's awesome. It's all learning. I use GitHub for work. 5 years ago, it was confusing for you too. You would think I've been using GitHub for 7 years and I still don't know how to use it. That's because I've only ever used it casually as a place to save things when I probably should have learned how to do it right. Anywho, so there we go. So now let's do a couple more of these presets just for kicksies here. We're gonna put in April colors. April colors sounds fun. Copy I'll do this we'll do just like 2 more and then we'll save the preset file. Don't even have to do 2 more. Paste that in. Wait, what happened? Oh yeah, accent. It put them in alphabetical order. GitHub is why I launched the URL. Oh. This is April. Oh, I got a great idea. What do you guys think? How about oh, looks like Colorwinkle. Wait, I was thinking, would it be funny? Would it be funny to make a preset that we call April Fools and it's blank, like the color's black, and then we're fooling the person who took our preset and made it? It's funny, but I'm not going to do it. Okay. So now let's say, okay, Ron now spends the rest of the afternoon and he's got all of his presets in and he likes them and he's tinkered around with them. He's got, boom, it's doing it perfect. Okay. So all the settings are saved already. The configuration, meaning the number of LEDs that you have on your outputs and all that's all saved. But the presets now are still in jeopardy because you've made all these presets. You spent all this time. You've got them all. They're beautiful. They're looking just like you want them. But if it were to happen again, you would lose all those. So let's make that not happen. So just like we did the backup of the configuration, you can go into security and updates and you can go to, scrolling down, you can go to backup presets and you can make another preset, a backup file. And this one is called the same thing, but it's presets instead of config. WLED presets digquad v3 JSON. Save that. Now, if I go back to the beginning and I delete all these presets, delete. Yes, I'm sure. Delete. Yes, I don't really like that one. Delete. Yes, that's a horrible one. Delete. That was very funny of you to make that joke on me with the black presets where everything was black. If you hit plus preset, what does that do? Oh, never mind. Okay, now you have no presets yet. Oh no. Well, let's fix that. We're going to go back here to security and updates. We're going to go to the presets section, restore presets. We're going to choose that file that we just saved. Right there. WLED presets, did quad v3. We're going to open it and we're going to upload it. All right, now we should be able to go back to our page and look, all our presets are there. Yay! So if we were to, one more time, do a factory reset on this thing, we could, like, within 3 minutes, upload the config and upload the presets and be right back in business, right? So if you're setting things up for the first time, if you have struggled with this in the past and have not done a config backup or a preset backup, if you are somebody who installs things for other people, please, for them, make a config backup and a preset backup as soon as you're done installing and explain to them how to use it so that they can not have to go through all of this again for themselves. Okay? Yay! Yay! Let's do the thing. Any questions? Questions, concerns, chistes, chismes? In Spanish, that's jokes or gossip. Got any jokes? Questions, concerns, jokes, gossip? Any of that? If not, we can go. So I like keeping these short lately. I have liked keeping these short. But maybe we can take a moment to talk about some of these other pucks. And I think, oh, you found last year's backups. Yes, Tanner. Good job, past me. What should we do? We should celebrate something for Tanner. Or this one, maybe. This one's even better for Tanner. Did it. Nice job. Nice job. All right. Okay. So, I want to talk about puck lights, okay? I want to talk about puck lights. Let's talk about puck lights. So puck lights did not exist several years ago. Let's go back to this. I'm so sorry. Let's finish this. This is the best way to finish this up, right? Remember this list, remember this document. I don't know where we should probably put this, or there's probably better instructions than this. I don't know if this is like I put this together like, you know, sitting at church this morning. So I don't know if there's doesn't have a lot of thought put into it. Just a few minutes. How can I load a preset when I turn on the ESP32? Oh, we can show you that. We can show you that in 1 second. Fusion. 1 second, we'll show you that. All right, so where did we do? We did this. We created the segments from the outputs. We loaded the presets, or we copied and pasted from GitHub. When you have it all redone correctly, make backups and save them. Then you can just reload them, right? And then the final thing I will do is give a plug for Discord and Facebook, if that's your thing. I spend more time on Discord, but there are a lot of people that prefer Facebook and use Facebook. So there's good, helpful people in both of these places that could walk you through these same things because they've probably been through them as well. So now let's go ask that. You weren't paying attention in church, Phil. I have 2 ears, right? Both were focused. Anyways. All right. So let's go to this and answer Fusion's question, because it's a good one. So Fusion's he says, how can I load a preset when I turn on the ESP32? So what he's saying is, if it reboots or if you power it off and power it back on, by default, it just loads up like yellow, right? So like this one, if I unplug it, I'm just going to unplug it here and plug it back in. And then when it reloads here, at first it won't probably be connected to the network yet. Oh yeah, it connected pretty quickly. So by default, if I hit peak, it's just going to do this, right? It's showing this kind of color. It's kind of a yellowish orange. It looks pretty orange in this one, but anyways, it's kind of a yellowish color, right? When you look at the pixels. So that's the default. Well, what if you want it to always put on a certain preset by default? Okay, you can do that. In the configs, let's see, I think it's in macros. I think it's in time and macros, but it might not be. Let me find out. Nope, it doesn't look like it's in time and macros. Maybe it's in, I don't think it's in security and updates. Maybe it's in user interface, sync interfaces. We'll find it here in a minute, unless somebody's going to tell me. I've fixed my pull request for you. Thank you, Stephen. I wish I knew what to do about a pull request. Okay, it's not there. Is it in LED preferences? I don't think so. Maybe it is. Oh yeah, it's in LED preferences. Thank you very much. You guys that are going to start all telling me in the chat where it's at. So it's in LED preferences and it's right here. Apply preset at boot. 0 uses defaults. So all of your presets have a number. And because it puts them in alphabetical order, the numbers are not in order, but they all have a number, right? So let's say that I want Pacifica to be the preset that turns on by default, or maybe it's accent. Maybe what you want is your accent light ones, whatever. So it's number 4 here, okay? So we're gonna go to config, LED preferences, I'm gonna scroll down here to apply presets, and we're going to apply preset number 4 at boot. We're going to save it, go back. Now, it probably doesn't have that preset right now, okay? Doesn't. So what we're going to do is we're going to reboot it again. So I'm going to unplug it, and then I'm going to plug it back in. And then when it resets, which you will hear in a second, and I do peak, it should be Pacifica. Oh, accent. Sorry. I thought I said Pacifica and I changed my mind to accent. But anyways, it's doing the right thing. It's doing accent. It's doing preset number 4. Okay. But that you can only do 1. So you can't do it like, what would be nice is certain times of the year, it does a certain default preset, but it doesn't do that. Let me show you. I gotta show you one more thing. Oh, this thing always gets me. In the config, and I would say do this. If you change these settings that I'm going to show you here, just resave your configuration, okay? Make sure your configuration is updated with some of these things. So time and macros. I think it's important to do this. Get a time from NTP server, okay? So that means that your device will know what time it is, because right now it thinks it's January 1st of 1970, which it's not. I wouldn't be here. I'm old, but I'm not that old. So I'm gonna save that, okay? So that will mean that it's gonna have the correct time and date settings. Time and macros. Okay, so now it knows the date and the time. Yay, except it looks like, oh, I didn't set the time zone. I set the wrong time zone. Whoops. So you got to set your correct time zone. Mountain Standard, Mountain Daylight. That's me. Save. Okay. I'm going to go back there again. You can put in your longitude and latitude, which is kind of good because then there's sun up and sundown kind of settings. So you can get your location. It'll open it. Now you can put set in WLED and it will put those into your settings here. Isn't that cool? Isn't that easy? My gosh. So save again. Save every time. Save. All right. Now do not hit this. So I get some people sometimes that say, hey, I've got this like random blue dot and then a green dot and then a red dot and they just kind of moving along my lights. What the heck's going on? You clicked this, most likely. Analog clock overlay. And it was an idea that somebody had early on, I'm sure, that was useful when you just had a strip of LEDs that were a certain color. And if you knew what it meant, it would tell you what time it was because you could figure out what time it was by that. So what that does is it turns on certain lights in order to give you an indication of what time it is. But I've never used it. And all it's done is caused people grief, those that don't know how to use it. So just make sure you don't click that because that does not mean you're going to have a clock. I mean, it would if you understood it, but I don't. All right. So the next thing I want to do, the last thing I want to do here tonight is just do time controlled presets because this is actually a super good feature. Going back for a second to what I was going to say about pucks. So lately I have looked at several different puck manufacturers and played with their controllers a little bit as well. Oh, Dr. 44, of course, uses the clock relay. I don't even know how to use it. Maybe if I knew how to use it, it would be useful to me too, but I don't know how to use it, so I don't use it. But I'm sorry. I forgive me for assuming that it was not being used or that it wasn't useful. I stand corrected. Thank you. Now, you can also do that with a playlist if you assign a number to a playlist. Oh, that's a good point. Sure. Okay, what I saw in these apps for these puck controllers, some of which were pretty high end, some of them were cheap, AliExpress, $30. Some of them were $600 on Amazon. And the apps, none of the apps that I tried, probably 3 different apps, none of them let you set a date and have a certain preset play for a span of dates. WLED does do that. I'll go through it quickly here. I did a video about this years ago, and I don't think it's changed much, so you can search that video out and watch it. But what this does is, so we're going to set a preset. We're going to say that we're going to make this preset number, I don't remember what was first. So Color Winkles was number 1. So we're going to do Color Winkles during the month of November. So we're going to do it every day of the week from November 1st to November, whatever the last day is, 30th, I think. Okay. So, and then what time of day do you want it to turn on? So we want it to turn on at 5 p.m. So 1700, hour 17, minute 00. You could put it, we could put it 1730. Just be 5:30. So 5:30, preset number 1 comes on from November 1st to November 30th. Okay. And we're going to save that. And then we're going to go back to time and macros. These are technically macros. So that's why they're in there. So there you go. Okay. And then you could do that this many times. Now you can do sunrise and sunset macros as well with presets. So you can do that. That's great. But that is something that is unique to WLED, which is fantastic because to me, the way that most of us have intended to use these lights is we want them to come on for holidays. We want them to come on for the right holiday, for the right number of days of the calendar at the right time of day, and we don't want to think about it again. We want to set it and forget it. So this is how you do it. All right. Now, I think we'll try one more time. Let's go back to security and updates. Let's make a new backup configuration because I want to make sure that file, those things I just changed, very useful to remember the wife's birthday. Grammy, you a genius. You a genius. I want to make sure that those settings are part of the config because I don't 100% know for sure if they are. So I'm going to save the configuration again. It gave it a new name, but whatever, it's fine. Then we're going to do, oops, I didn't need to leave. I could have done it right here. We're going to do a factory reset again and hit save. And it's going to factory reset, which means we're going to have to do the whole WLED thing again, blah, 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 blah. I wish I could use this for displaying my favorite NBA team colors during games. There is a way, Robert. There is a way, but you have to do it through something like Home Assistant. There's a way, and who was it, guys? Was it Stubbs? I think it was Stubbs that was the mastermind behind that, or at least who got it working best. All right, so now we're going to go back to this again, and we're going to end the stream after this, okay, guys? We're going to end the stream after this. Oh, gosh, leave me alone with this update. We're going to end the stream after that. I'm not going to do giveaways today because I didn't set anything out to do giveaways, and I didn't make good on my promise to do giveaways last week. So I still owe people giveaways from last week, so I apologize, but so no giveaways this time. All right, WLED settings, and then we're going to do the same thing where we have to put it in because this is all brand new, right? It's all gone. So I told Ron I'd write something up and I'd email it to him. So I'm going to email him that list of things with a couple of links and especially the link to this video and say, Ron, this one's for you, man. All right. So now if I go to the WLED Native app, I assume it will find it again. It should be there. There it is. Okay. So now if I go to that up here, it should be there again. All my segments are gone. All my presets are gone. If I go to my configuration, LED preferences, all that stuff's gone. Crap-a-roni and cheese, right? Now I'm going to go in here to security and updates. Oh, not security and updates. Sorry, macros. Time and macros. It's not using my GTP or NTP server. It doesn't know the time and date. Oh, man. Everything's gone. All that stuff I worked so hard for, it's all gone. Here we go. Here we go. We're going to upload. We're going to restore the configuration first. Configuration right there. Done. Upload. Rebooting. Waiting. Should be rebooted. We're going to upload the presets now. We're going to restore the presets. WLED presets. Digquad. B3. Upload. Ba-bomb. File uploaded. Going to go back. Going way back. Oh, man. Look at this. Oh, it says error preset not found. Uh-oh. So it's looking for a preset that wasn't there. That might be because that popped up because my configuration was telling it to load a preset before I uploaded the presets. That's why that happened. But now everything else should be correct. So in my LED preferences, I've got all my correct hardware outputs. I've got it set to start with preset number 4 when it reboots. And then if I go to time and macros, oh, it's got the NTP server. It knows the time and date. It knows my longitude and latitude. And it's got my November color winkles set up. Congratulations, everybody. Congratulations. We did it. I don't know how best to celebrate. Maybe with this one. All right. Sweet. So, last chance for questions. Anybody? Shoot them. Home Assistant and WLED webhooks. Thank you, Grammy. Yeah, and ask Stubbs and ask in Discord or Facebook. There are people who know how to do it. I don't know how to do it. What is the quickest way to get a newly created preset to show up in Home Assistant? Oh boy. Decon 1. So so in Home Assistant, so let's look at. This is an interesting question because I don't know how fast. So this is this is going to say, hey, there's a new device, right? So this is Home Assistant. It's going to say there's a new device. We're going to check it out. It's going to be this WLED controller right here. I'm going to add it. Fine. Submit. Okay. And then this should list all the presets. So if what you're saying is you added a new preset and you want it to show up in your list in here, I don't know how often it will reload those. So what I would do, let's find the WLED. Where's WLED here? Come on, man. WLED. Is there not a WLED in here? What the heck? There's not a WLED integration? Where's it at? Where was that list of presets? The pre-created presets. They are in GitHub. Oh, right here. Right here. How do you set the time that the lights are on? Just go back me out west to check the last couple minutes, but it's down here in time and macros, down here at the bottom. The hour, so this is a 24-hour clock. So this is the hour you want them to come on. If you want them to come on at 10 o'clock at night, it would be 22:00. There's only 1 0 here, right? But 22 and then whatever. And then this is which preset you want them to turn on. Now, if you want them to, one thing that I have done in the past, and there's another videos about this, you can just check it out. You go back, you make a preset that toggles the lights, and then you do this to turn it on or turn it off. Okay, so you set one to turn it on at a certain time, turn it off at a certain time. The best thing to do for me is you set it, this will turn it on, when it starts a preset at a certain time. If the lights are off, it will turn on. So then what you really want to do is just set one to turn them off, right? And then they'll turn back on the next time there's a preset that needs to play. But you set a preset that will turn them off. The quick way for me to show you how that's done is to probably just look at my own. Don't remember what the address is of my own. So I can't tell you right now. But it's something like T equals 0 or T equals 2 or something, right, guys? All right. Where is that WLED? Yeah, so these are the ones. Nope, never mind. Where did that go? It should have been in the integrations. Integrations. Nope, that's not that one. Why is it not? It's like, but it's right here, dummy. Gosh. Okay, so here's a bunch of them that aren't connected anymore. That's fine. Okay, here's the one that we just connected. Okay, so let's look at this one. Oh, why did it disconnect? Oh, it's different. This one's disconnected right here. Keep in mind, even with one LED segment. Keep main light even with one LED segment. I don't know what that means. All right, so we're going to go to this device and look. And now it should, so we have 3 settings. So under this presets, it should give our list. Yeah, so there's our list, right? So then let's go to this controller and let's delete a couple of these and we'll just see how fast it updates, okay? We'll delete that one, delete that one. So now we should only have 3 presets, okay? So we go back to Home Assistant, and this is advanced for you guys, right? Ron, you could tune out already. Don't worry about this. So I don't think just a simple reload of this is going to change it. Yep, so they're still there. So what I would do here is like reload the device or something. There's got to be a way you can do that. So right here, reload. So I would reload that device and see if that does it. So integration was reloaded. And then if we go here, maybe then now they're gone. So reload the device. Did you catch that? Who was it that was asking? Who was asking? Quickest way to get newly created presets to show up in Home Assistant, go to the integration, the WLED integration for that device, and hit the reload. That'll do it. That'll do it, right? Okay. That's it, guys. That's all I got for today. I am going to go take a nap before dinner. It's my favorite thing to do. if you have more questions, if you want to chat more, Discord, Facebook, and yeah, plenty of awesome people out there. I'm going to send this list. Oh, let me get this. Put these last things. I'll do it right after I hang up. Anyways, I am going to send this on to my brother-in-law, and hopefully after what we did today, he will be able to get his things back in working order. Okay? Next weekend, we will probably have a lot of company, so I may not stream. But if all of our company has left by Sunday at the normal time, then I'll do a stream. Otherwise, it'll be 2 weeks from today before we do another one. And at that point, it'll be like December 7th, and we'll have to start doing the 3 streams of Christmas. That may be all we get to. I don't know. Anyways, as always, thanks for watching. Till next time, adios. Do, 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 do.